Shalom, my friend. You are sitting there with your eyes wide open and your soul fast asleep. And you are wondering why your bank account is a graveyard of almosts and not quits, while you watch men with half your intelligence and zero integrity walk effortlessly into the rooms of the global elite. You think you have a luck problem, or a marketing problem, or a timing problem. But I am telling you right now that you have a transfer problem. You are a mental midget when it comes to the laws of spiritual physics. And you are suffering because you refuse to understand that mazel, the divine flow of wealth, is not a vague concept or a poetic metaphor. It is a tangible, measurable energy that can be leaked, stolen, or transferred through physical contact. Most of you are walking through life like spiritual sponges, soaking up the poverty, the resentment, the exhaustion, and the failure of everyone you touch. And then you have the audacity to ask the master of the universe why your business is failing. God is not the one blocking your wealth. You are the one inviting the blockage by touching the very things that the billionaire class has known to avoid for 3,000 years. Today, I am going to stop being nice to you. I am going to stop treating you like a child who needs a magic trick or a 24-hour prayer, and I am going to start treating you like a strategist who needs a shield. We are going to talk about the law of tangibility, the hidden Kabbalistic science of how objects and people act as hard drive transmitters of poverty. I am going to reveal the 3 specific things that you must stop touching immediately if you ever want to see 7 figures in your account, and keep them there. If you are touching these items, I don't care how many wealth verses you recite or how many candles you light, you are in a state of spiritual contamination, and the frequency of gold cannot dwell in a house of filth. We are going to perform a total, ruthless audit of your physical interactions. By the end of this video, which you must watch until the very last second, if you have any desire to survive the coming economic judgment, you will know how to seal your vessel and stop the energy parasites from draining your destiny. I am Rabbi Boaz, the Torah Life Strategist, and I am here to reconstruct your mazal because you are clearly too weak to do it yourself. Let us begin with the concept of tumah, spiritual impurity. In the Torah, impurity is not dirt. You can be physically clean and spiritually toxic. Impurity is defined as the absence of life or the presence of decay. When something is in a state of chronic failure, perpetual debt, or poverty, it radiates a frequency of lack. When you touch an object or a person that is vibrating at this frequency, you are participating in what we call a negative transfer. This is why the high priest in the temple had to be meticulously, almost obsessively careful about what he touched. One wrong contact could disqualify him from the divine service and cut off the blessing for the entire nation. You are the high priest of your own finances, the CEO of your own destiny, but you are touching leaky vessels all day long and wondering why your anointing is gone. Money is a high-frequency energy. It seeks the living, the whole, and the protected. If you are covered in the silt of failure from the things you handle, the gold will find you repulsive on a spiritual level and move to a cleaner vessel. The first item you must stop touching immediately is second-hand jewelry or used clothing. I know this triggers your frugal mindset. You think you are being smart or environmentally friendly by saving money at a thrift store or wearing your broke uncle's vintage watch. You are being a fool. You are buying someone else's financial history and wearing it as your own. Every physical object, especially items worn close to the skin like watches, rings, necklaces, and clothes, acts as a spiritual hard drive for the wearer's mazal. If the previous owner was a man of chronic debt, a man of anxiety, or a man whose dreams were broken, that frequency is baked into the very atoms of the metal and the fibers of the cloth. When you put that watch on your wrist, You are literally strapping on his failure. You are forcing your soul to vibrate at the frequency of his struggle. This is why you find yourself making the same unforced errors he made. This is why you feel his unexplained anxiety in the middle of the night. You have invited a ghost of poverty into your personal sanctuary. Throw it out. If it isn't brand new or inherited from a person of extreme righteousness and verified wealth, it is an anchor. You are trying to fly while wearing lead boots. The billionaire class never wears used clothes. Not because they are snobs, but because they understand the law of the first user. They refuse to participate in a degraded signal. But you, in your mental midget arrogance, think you can bypass the laws of energy. You think a little dry cleaning or a polish can wash away a lifetime of poverty consciousness? It can't. You are soaking in someone else's lack. Stop touching the debris of the discarded. You are a king. Act like one. Look at the items in your home right now. How much of your environment is recycled failure? If you surround yourself with the objects of people who couldn't make it, you are building a monument to mediocrity. Every time you touch that used desk or sit in that second-hand chair, you are aligning with the exit energy of the person who gave it up. They let it go because they were moving down, or they were stuck. Why do you want their stuck energy in your office? You need objects that broadcast creation, newness, and dominance. You need to understand that we are approaching the 10-minute mark of this intense training, and some of you are already looking for the skip button because the truth is too heavy for your small shoulders. You think a single video will fix a lifetime of bad mazal and physical contamination. It won't. This video is the alarm clock, but the work is the reconstruction. Your soul is currently a cracked vessel. You have been touching the unclean for so long that your spiritual plumbing is completely rusted and filled with the silt of the masses. You are leaking your anointing every time you shake a hand or open a door. This is why you must get the Mazal Reconstruction. This ebook is my digital blueprint for the chosen one. It is the only manual that teaches you how to identify the hidden transfers in your life, the items in your house that are acting as poverty antennas, and the people who are vampires of your luck. If you are serious about this, if you are done being a wannabe who is satisfied with the crumbs falling from the table of the rich, you need to go to the link in the description right now and get the Mazal Reconstruction. Use this video to stop the immediate drain, but use the ebook to build the fortress. If you don't get the book, you are essentially telling the universe that you are happy being a leaky sponge and that you prefer the struggle over the mastery. Don't be that guy. Stop being cheap with your own destiny. Get the Reconstruction Manual now. Now, let us move to the second thing you must stop touching. Money that has been handled by the mazal-less and the resentful. This sounds controversial, but I am a strategist, not a politician. In the Talmud, there is a concept that wealth is a shield and a blessing. When you handle money that comes from a place of slavery, crime, or extreme resentment, you are handling toxic paper. I see you. You take money from clients who hate paying you. You handle cash from people who are screaming and complaining about the price. And you think money is money. It is not. Money is a messenger. If the messenger is carrying a curse of resentment, that curse enters your wallet and begins to eat the rest of your bills. This is why many lottery winners and fast money earners who take money from the desperate end up broke, alone, and depressed within years. They handled money that was saturated with the envy and the lack of the masses. You must sanctify your cash. Never touch money with the feeling of desperation or greed. If you are grabbing at money because you are scared you won't have enough, you are infecting the currency with your own fear. You are turning your wealth into dead paper before you even spend it. And for the love of the Creator, stop touching debt documents or late notices with your bare hands if you can avoid it. When you hold a late notice or a bankruptcy statement, you are physically connecting with the frequency of being devoured. You are telling your body and your nervous system, I am the prey. Use digital portals, use a manager, or handle it with the intention of elimination, using a tool, but do not let that paper bathe in your energy field. You are a high-frequency steward. Your hands should be reserved for creation, investment, and blessing. If you must handle the money of the resentful, you must perform a mental severing. You must realize that the money is being redeemed as it enters your hands. But most of you aren't strong enough for that. You just soak up the misery of your clients and wonder why you have a headache at the end of the day. It's not a headache, it's a spiritual infection. Let's go deeper into the transfer of the handshake. When you shake the hand of a man who is a mazel poisoner, a man who is filled with ayin hara, the evil eye, and deep-seated resentment toward the successful, you are allowing his spiritual plumbing to connect directly to yours. If his pipes are filled with the sewage of failure, and your pipes are filled with the gold of anointing, where do you think the pressure is going to push that sewage? It is going to flow into you. This is why the elite are exclusive. This is why they don't hang out in public bars or crowded malls. It's not because they hate people, it's because they are protecting their vessel. If you are accessible to everyone, you are vulnerable to everything. Your social touching is the reason your financial doors are closing. The gates of heaven see that you are mixed with the unrefined, so the refined wealth stays locked away until you prove you can keep a clean house. The third item you must stop touching, and this is the one that is stunting your growth the most, is what I call public poverty totems. What are these? These are the physical objects in public spaces that are touched by thousands of people who are in a state of survival mode. The door handles of the unemployment office, the railings of the crowded public hospital, the buttons of the lottery machine, the touchscreens at the discount grocery store. You think I am talking about germs and bacteria? I am talking about spiritual residue. These places are concentration camps of lack. The people who go there are broadcasting, "Help me, I don't have enough, I am a victim, and life is unfair." That energy is a heavy, dark frequency that sticks to the physical environment like spiritual tar. When you touch those objects, you are logging in to the collective consciousness of the broken. You are participating in a mass transfer of misery. A billionaire avoids these high-din, high-judgment areas. He stays in high-chest, mercy, and abundance environments. He protects his hands. He understands that his tactile environment dictates his financial reality. You, however, are walking through these zones of decay every day and wondering why you feel heavy, uninspired, and cynical. You are covered in the dust of the masses. You need to wash your hands with the specific intention of severing the connection. In the Torah, we have the ritual of netilat yadayim, the formal washing of the hands. This is not for hygiene. It is for boundary setting. It is designed to remove the ruach ra, the negative parasitic spirit that clings to the extremities of the body. If you have been in a place of lack or a place of chaos, you must wash that frequency off your skin before you touch your wallet, your children, or your work. You are a chosen one, and a chosen one must be distinct. If you are touching the common, you will become common, and common people are always, by definition, broke and replaceable. You need to understand the physics of the ayin hara. The evil eye is not just a look, it is a vibration of disruption. When you touch an object that someone has looked at with intense jealousy, you are touching that disruption. This is why you must never show your exact numbers or your jewelry to people who are struggling. You are inviting them to touch your mazal with their eyes, which leads to a physical transfer of judgment. If you have objects in your house that were touched by the envy of a toxic friend, those objects are now leaking your prosperity. Throw them out. It is better to have an empty house than a house filled with poisoned assets. The billionaire understands that his home is a fortress. He doesn't let anyone in who hasn't been vetted. He doesn't let his mazal be touched by the unwashed hands of the cynical. But you are a spiritual slut. You give your energy, your time, and your physical contact to anyone who asks for it. You think being polite is a virtue. In the marketplace, being too polite is a suicide note. You need to build a wall. You need to reconstruct your boundaries. This is the only way to double your income in the next 12 months. You need to stop the leak before you ask for the flow. Most of you are asking for more water when your bucket is actually a sieve. The Creator is not going to waste His abundance on a man who cannot contain it. You need to become a kli shalom, a vessel of wholeness. Wholeness means there are no holes. Wholeness means that when the gold falls, it stays and multiplies. But your life is full of spiritual holes caused by your lack of discipline and your social contamination. This is the reality of your situation. You are a mental midget because you think the laws of the universe should bend to your comfort or your social anxiety. They won't. The universe is a machine of law. The law of transfer is absolute. If you touch the defect, you become defective. If you touch the whole, you become whole. This is why I am telling you to get the mazal reconstruction right now. This is your chance to touch the whole. This manual is a high-frequency object in itself. Reading it, studying it, and internalizing it will begin to overwrite the poverty programming that has been running in your brain since you were a child. It will give you the tactical SOPs to handle your home, your business, and your social circle like a billionaire strategist. If you are too cheap to invest in the blueprint of your own soul, then get off my channel and go watch the Magic Pill Rabbis who will tell you that everything is fine while you're drowning in debt. I only have time for the lions. I only have time for the men who are ready to rule and take territory. The link is in the description. Buy the ebook, Reconstruct Your Mazal. This is my hard and aggressive final call to action for this video. You have two choices today. You can keep your used clothes, your second-hand jewelry, your messy wallet, and your toxic friends, and you can continue to touch poverty until it completely consumes your identity and your future. Or you can take the sword of separation. You can clear the debris from your life. You can fix your spiritual plumbing. And you can build a dynasty that lasts for 100 years and blesses generations. The financial miracle you have been praying for is not going to drop from the sky. It is going to flow through the vessel you build. If the vessel is contaminated, the water becomes poison. If the vessel is pure, the water becomes gold. Stop touching the trash of the world. Stop touching the failure of the masses. Start touching the truth of the Torah Strategist. The mazal reconstruction is the only truth that matters in this chaotic market. It is the surge protector for your soul. It is the filter for your energy. It is the roadmap to the palace. If you leave this video without taking action, you are confirming to the universe that you are a lost cause. You are confirming that you prefer the leaky plumbing of your current struggle. Don't be that man. Be the man who fixes the leak and builds the empire. Be the man who understands that his hands are the tools of the king and treats them with the respect they deserve. Every billionaire I know has a ritual of separation. They don't touch low-value information. They don't touch low-value people. They don't touch low-value objects. They are high-value because they only handle high-value things. This is the secret. It's not about how hard you work. It's about what you vibrate with. If you vibrate with the thrift store, you will always be a customer of the thrift store. If you vibrate with the palace, you will eventually own the palace. But you cannot vibrate with the palace while your wallet is full of crumbs and your wrist is wearing a dead man's watch. Clear the deck, perform the extraction, reclaim your hands. And for the love of the Creator, get the blueprint. The poverty infection is aggressive, but the reconstruction is more powerful. You have been warned. You have been instructed. Now, do you have the will to act? Or are you just another mental midget who likes to watch videos while his life falls apart? I think I know the answer, but I want you to prove me wrong. Go to the comments and write, "I am a whole vessel." Then go to the link and get the book. Your soul is the blueprint. Your life is the construction. Now get to work and stop touching the trash. Shalom.